In this video, I want to show you the new features in version 3 of our SHARPEN video product. I've brought some videos with me. Let's load one so we can have a look at the interface and see what's changed, what's been enhanced, what's been improved, what's new. Let's start with the video bar at the bottom. One addition of the new codecs, an AV1 codec in a CPU variant, in a GPU variant, a VP9 codec. And there are more quality modes with 9 levels for compressing videos. One really important new feature is that these quality levels are also now more or less comparable. So if I encode a video in level 3 in H.264 format, I get roughly the same file size as when I do that in AV1 codec. That makes them very comparable, which is quite important, of course. No surprise that the SHARPEN video program is mainly concerned with image sharpness, and there are lots of changes there too. Let's go to the finalize area on the right. That's now the default setting for opening the program for the first time. Up here we have the new toolbar, which you can use to switch the individual modules on and off. Let's turn them all off, and then, for example, just activate the sharpness module here, so I just see the sharpness settings in the interface. When you close the program and open it again, this toolbar restores the settings exactly as you left them. So this version of the toolbar lets you save your interface and makes for a more dynamic and flexible configuration. What's changed in sharpness? To show you, I have to go to another area, which we'll need in a second. That's the new super sampling area. Let's look at that later. Before that, I'd like to show you some other things that have changed here. Of course, we still have our 7 categories up here with the various sharpness templates, the automatic option. There's an export and import function for sharpness settings, plus a quick export and quick import if you want to save something quickly. We still have our quality modes. You may have seen all this in our previous version. If not, I recommend watching the videos on our homepage or our YouTube channel, which explain these basic features. If we now set some automatic sharpness using the automatic function, we are shown a variant here with some slight sharpening and slight haze correction because we've selected category 1, general sharpness. And now, for example, in the multi-directional sharpening area here, we have the option to do that with artificial intelligence, which is also activated by default. And if we zoom in, let's zoom in here or maybe here. It doesn't really matter. I just want to show you what's there and how it works. Multi-directional sharpening has got a new mode right at the end with even more calculation accuracy with this artificial intelligence. Let's go to the 3rd level here. We're shown a quick message to let us know we're switching this on for the first time and what multi-directional sharpening actually is. And now we can see the sharpness is much improved. Let's take it out again, switch it off and on again so you can see what's changed. So why use artificial intelligence with multi-directional sharpening? It's been shown that if you map the feature using a neural network, the calculation is actually faster than if you map it using the general algorithm. And it's also a little more pleasing on the eye. If I switch it off now, the artificial intelligence, we don't notice a huge difference, but we do see a difference. And we can see that the variant calculated with artificial intelligence is much faster. Of course, for videos especially, that's quite an advantage if we don't have to wait so long. In our example here, a full HD video, 15 seconds long with 25 images, that's already 400 images that have to be calculated for the video, which is then really reflected in the calculation time. So the program has gotten much faster in this regard. If we now switch on the highest multi-directional sharpness mode, we can see a slight improvement, which really gives us some very, very good sharpness. Let's go back to the 3rd level. What else is new in sharpness? As I mentioned earlier, the new super sampling method. And This method is really special. It takes the video, scales it up internally. I set it to 2-fold, 3-fold or 4-fold here. It then sharpens the image wherever we are right now in the video, and then uses a high quality scaling function to scale it back to the original resolution. If we switch that on, pay attention to the contours on the elephant's tusks here, we can see the contours look a lot better. The whole picture becomes much more homogeneous and pleasant. We can click the right mouse button to display the original, and that's now the sharpened version with super sampling. It produces much better and smoother sharpening results. But of course it also uses a bit more computing time, because 2-fold super sampling turned these 2 megapixels per image into 4 megapixels per image that are sharpened and then scaled down again. So that's quite a lot of calculation. And you can also set the level to 4-fold, which makes the contours even better. That would mean we're no longer with a 2 megapixel image for the full HD video, but with an 8 megapixel image. The area is quadrupled, and that gives us really, really good sharpening results. But you need a bit of patience for the calculations. I'll set that to a reasonable size for this video, 2-fold, and maybe set the multi-directional sharpness to a medium level. That would be a good setting for this video, and the calculation time would still be very manageable. There aren't just new additions in the video area and in sharpness. There are also loads in many of the general features. Let's quickly double click to refit the image. We've made a lot of improvements in the raw module. Let's open it here. The raw module is the pre-development module, not for the raw image, but for the raw data in this case in the video program. And the artificial intelligence area here has loads of new filters, like this one for reducing blue shadows. If you've been up in the mountains, for instance, then you'll know it often gets very blue in areas of shadow, and that happens even more often on roads. There are loads of new effects in the color area and the presets. So these presets for each category have also been significantly enhanced. Much has changed there too. Maybe we should look at a few general features that have been added. One of these is the option to save every image within the video wherever we happen to be. I'll click somewhere in the timeline. So we can now save every single image directly using the save video image function. We can copy this current video image to the clipboard with Ctrl+C and paste it to another program, for example. There are loads of changes with the general functions. We've added lots of new languages. You can find them in the settings, in the relevant language setting. And while we're in the settings, there's also a special new feature with the image refresh frequency. If you calculate a video that's a bit longer than the image, the interface is also regularly refreshed. You can configure this new display here, either with the 4 quality levels or 4 accuracy levels, or also configure it manually. And that lets you ensure that if you're calculating a very long video, for instance, you can set this to performance, so the interface is not refreshed as often, and the video calculation is a bit faster overall. That can save you a bit of time on calculating large videos. Let's reset that and go back to the main image. Another new feature I'd like to show you now is selective drawing, which has also found its way into our video program series. Let's reset everything here for a minute and deactivate these interface areas for super sampling and sharpness. Then switch on selective drawing here so it's easier to find, and open it then. I'm shown another information message when I open it for the first time to tell me what I have to watch out for, why it's important, what it's actually there for. For instance, it says you can use it to integrate your own watermark into the video, and I'll show you how that works briefly using the onboard tools the program itself provides. Selective drawing opens in composing mode. If I activate a composing mask here, you can see a lot of buttons appear. Let's remove the preview at the top so we have more space. One of the new additions here are the new image collections, background collections that you can use to add effects to the image, for example. Let's choose one and upload it, just a light effect. Let's choose this one. Nothing happens here at first after we select the effect. We have to tell the program how and where to use it first. To do that, I take this invert mask symbol and say, please show this image everywhere. The mask is then displayed all over. Let's go back for a second. You could also use our brush function, for instance, to paint it in here. You can't see much of it because the top of the picture is black, so we have to move it up a bit. And you can see how it pops up there. So we can either use a brush to paint it in or apply it to the whole area. If it's applied to the whole area, we should also use a calculation method such as add limited, which then gives us a light effect in the area, or we can add it fully. This is add limited and this is add fully. It's even more intense. We can set the intensity up here. If you want to load your own image, you just click on the image here and a file dialog opens. You can then load your own image, maybe one with your logo on it. If you paint a logo on a black background, you can just add it on top of the image and you now have your own watermark, your logo on the video. It's integrated throughout the entire calculation in the program. Of course, the actual sharpness of the video remains unaffected because the video was sharpened first and this layer was then superimposed over it. We can now scroll down here where we can still see selective drawing. You can just deactivate it for a while. If you want to continue working on your sharpness, that's no problem. So hopefully I've piqued your interest in some of the new features of Sharpen Video 3. I hope you enjoy trying it out.